But to revisit something as traumatic as abuse can be frightening up front, but it's certainly worth the healing that's going to come out on the other end.
Well, hey there, folks. It's Rachel here. Happy day to you. I hope you all are doing well and having a good one. It's a really beautiful sunny day here in San Francisco. And I spent this morning out at breakfast with a friend and connecting. And we were catching up a little bit and talking about some of the things that are going on in our lives. For her, she has two family members who are dealing with some major health issues. And for me, I've got an injured partner and I've also got an injured kitten. So, oh my gosh, we were just, kind of connecting around the stress of that and how life, is always happening around us, right? And there are things that we have some say about, and then there are some things that just happen and that we aren't necessarily completely out of control, but some things occur that we don't have a lot of choice about in our lives. And so the choice that we do have in those instances is how we want to respond or handle those stressors that are happening for us. So maybe take a moment today and notice what are the stressors that are happening for you, right? So as survivors of sexual abuse and trauma, we have the past trauma that we're dealing with. That can be a stressor. If we're really in the midst of recovery and working through that past trauma, that in and of itself is a lot to kind of hold and contain and work through. And then we've got just life happening, right? So there's job stuff, there's friend stuff, there's family stuff, there's our own health stuff. So long story short, it can add up really quick. Hi, Brenda. Nice to see you here. So I want to talk a little bit today about comfort. In the midst of all the stress, in the midst of all the things that are difficult or hard in our lives, we've got to find little timeouts, little moments where we can, if you want to use a kind of a clinical psychology type word, self-soothe, but I often like to think of it as self-comfort. What are those things in our lives that can help us feel like nurtured or cared for and held, really, in the midst of all sorts of stress and pressures, okay? So we know a lot of the opportunities there are for comforting ourselves in ways that are not so healthy, right? So binge eating, drugs, alcohol, checking out for too long of a period of time in television. So these are, coping strategies that people use, and most of them end up exacerbating the problem, right? They're like a quick fix. They might work a little bit, but they don't really hold a lot of hope for long-term comfort or change. So I'm going to share with you one of my little comfort techniques or strategies. You ready? Here he comes. There he is. That's his name. This is Puddles. So many years ago, I was at a retreat and I was doing some work around inner child work. And the place when I walked in was full of stuffed animals. And I was at first like, oh my gosh, what is this place? This is kind of creepy. I don't know what have I gotten myself into, right? And I was so resistant. The facilitator of the program said from day one, like, find a stuffed animal, find something that you like and you love, and by the way, you'll get to take that home. And oh man, I was not having it. I was going to be an adult and I was going to, handle this in my adult way. And long story short, at the end of the day, the very last day, like 5 minutes before we're all walking out, I see this little guy on the shelf, and I immediately ran over and grabbed him. And I stuffed him in my bag. I was in Australia, by the way. So I'm flying home, and here I am, like walking around with this little stuffed animal, like sticking out of my bag. But I didn't care. And what I discovered that day was that, some of the things that we can find that nurture us and bring comfort in our lives, people might think are silly. They might think they're stupid. They might think that they're immature. But I have to tell you, when I've had a rough day, when I am just feeling not nurtured or not held and stressed out, overwhelmed, I go and grab this guy and I just squeeze him and I cuddle him and get really, just pet, even like the texture, right? The somatic feeling of the fur, whatever it is. Okay, so long story short, what I'm inviting you to do today in the realm of comfort is to select something and find something, even if you've been told that's dumb, that's stupid, or you yourself are like, that's silly, why would I do that? Take a little moment today to find one small way to bring more comfort and ease into your life. We deserve that. There's lots that's hard and stressful and difficult. So let's find little, simple, small ways that we can love ourselves and comfort ourselves. So if you want to share your little way of comforting yourself here in the comments, please feel free to do so. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great day. Bye-bye.